KYC, for those that are not familiar with it, it basically means know your customer. Some people call it KYB, know your business. Some people call it another KYC, know your client. To be quite honest, it all means the same thing. Whether know your customer, know your clients, know your business, it essentially means the same thing. So when you say know your customer, it's not just an individual you're referring to. You could have a customer that is a business institution. So for example, I have a company called, my name is Sarah. So let's, for argument's sake, we'll call it Sarah Limited. So for example, you have a business address. Is she operating in any sanctioned country? What kind of business interaction does Sarah Limited have? Where does Sarah Limited get the big source of funds, source of wealth from? Those are considerations you're going to start making. So the reason I'm telling you guys some of this, I don't expect you to understand everything I'm saying, but it's just to give you a flavor of the level of depth you're going to get if you sign up for a training of this quality. Like, we really break it down to make sure that everybody, both those that have no knowledge and those that have some knowledge, everybody finishes feeling happy, feeling, yeah, thank you. Someone said knowing jurisdiction. Fantastic. Alatisi Oluwasegun, thank you very much. Absolutely, you're correct. When you want to know your business, you want to understand the jurisdiction they operate in. Absolutely spot on. That's very fantastic. So I'm going to take a pause at this second. If anyone has any question or has said something that you don't quite understand, this is your opportunity to ask so I can answer your question. I'll give it a few seconds. If no questions come up, I'm going to assume that you guys all understand what I'm trying to say. So I'll give it a few seconds to see if anyone has any question. Okay, this is impressive. That means I'm explaining it to you guys well. So KYC and AML, they go hand in hand because AML stands for anti-money laundering, and the purpose of doing KYC is to prevent money laundering and terrorist financing. So they go hand in hand. You cannot take one without the other. And just so you know, sometimes when you're looking for jobs, you could look for jobs like KYC jobs. You could also look for jobs like AML jobs. Sometimes they're very similar. Sometimes they're used interchangeably. But all of this, we're going to go into the whole level of detail when you join the course. Some of you might say, you know what, KYC sounds like fun for me. Some of you might say, you know what, I kind of want to keep it simple. Let me just do paper evaluation for now. I think the opportunity here is endless. So you guys have a chance to basically pick and choose whatever field you want to go into. Now, because of time and I want to be able to take some of your questions, I'm not going to cover everything here, but just to give you a flavor of some of the things we're going to be doing. Now, things like sanctions, you hear of people like Putin and the rest of
this kind of industries, that because the criminals are always looking for ways to reinvent themselves, regulators are always playing catch up, and because they're always playing catch up, institutions are also always looking for people to fill in those gaps. So there's always going to be jobs. I could almost say that without a shadow of doubt, because there's just so much to be done, and there's a limit to what automation can do in this regard, because they would also need people to check. Sometimes they call it double check, 4-eye check, 6-eye check, and you name it, to kind of check what other people are doing. So PEP is basically a politically exposed person. And the reason that we talk about PEP a lot is because they sometimes present a higher risk, not in all circumstances. So bear in mind that being a politically exposed person, it doesn't make you a bad person. So what is a politically exposed person? Someone that has been entrusted with prominent public function. So for example, a governor, a president, a prime minister, those kind of people, they are usually called PEPs, and they're usually classed as high risk in most places. And the reason for that is this: they have a lot of access to power, they have a lot of access to money, and because of the access that they have, they can sometimes misuse that access for the purposes of money laundering, for the purposes of terrorist financing. How many of you on the call have heard of, because I'm aware that the majority of you are from Nigeria, correct me if I'm wrong, but how many of you have heard of a guy called James Ibori? Just tell me yes, or give me a sentence or whatever.
Yes, we have.
Okay, I like this. So majority of you on the call are telling me yes. I'm going to assume that most people will know who James Ibori is. James Ibori used to be a former governor in Nigeria. Now, he laundered money. He would be classified as a PEP anywhere in the world. He laundered money not just with his wife, with his mistress, with everybody around him, in close proximity with him. And the joke was, when he was released from prison and returned back to Nigeria, this guy was actually celebrated. which for me, that's an absolute joke, because this is the reason why people don't take things like this seriously. And by the time you join this course and we start to dive into the regulations and we look at the level of money it's costing, the level of resources it's costing regulatory bodies around the world to prevent financial crime, you would see it from a very different perspective. Like, it's a big deal, and to know that you're joining a community where what you're doing is going to make a difference long term, on this kind of scale, is quite incredible. So James Ibori is a good example of a PEP, and is an example of a PEP who is 100% a high risk PEP. I can imagine that as of today in the UK, if you try to open an account for James Ibori, you're more likely to get a no than you are to get a yes. Because if you screen a name like James Ibori, the amount of negative media you're going to get, when I say negative media, I basically negative information, the amount of negative information you're going to get on him, even if you just Google his name and you just move forward behind it, the amount of hits that are going to come up, I doubt that anybody would comfortably want to do business with him. Now, so the reason you assess PEPs is that you want to be sure that you're comfortable with them. You want to be sure that you're able to manage, if they present any risk, that you're able to manage that risk. And if you're not able to manage that risk, it's okay for you to say, you know what, we don't feel comfortable doing business with you guys. Just because someone applies to your institution doesn't mean you have to do business with them. That's why you have things like KYC, AML, PEP evaluation, and stuff like that. I would advise you guys to sign up today so you don't lose the discount. Rukaya, someone's just asked, what's the duration of the course? I'm going to put that to Rukaya. I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm sorry for that. Okay, can you help with that question?
Okay. So the course is exactly a 4 weeks, is a 4 weekend course, so that's 4 classes basically. Proposed to be 3 hours per class, right? And yes, but the exact logistics about whether it will be Saturday or Sunday, but it's 4 classes. It could be 4 weekends. It could be 4. If we decide, once we got those that have registered, if we decide to do Saturday, Sunday, we could even finish it in 2 weeks, right? So, but 4 classes, 3 hours per class, and so we got register now, and then we can all have a concession about the best. But it's 4 classes, 3 hours per class, and of course, most likely weekends.
Okay, guys, I'm very happy about the kind of questions you guys are asking. It's showing me interest, because the only reason you'll be asking me all these questions is because you're beginning to see the value that you're going to get. So things like data protection, GDPR has been recently introduced, and it's a big thing about the way you use people's information, the way you protect it, sharing information on a need to share basis. It's just big. You can even have a whole career in just protecting people's data. And trust me, data is a big thing. I would love to say it's a big thing globally, but in the UK, it's a major thing. People could get a lot of fines. People could go to jail sometimes if they've not handled other people's data very well. So if you become one of those experts that is good at protecting people's data, that's another line of career that you can pursue. So there's just so much you can do, from being an analyst to being you could even go into quality assurance, quality checking. It can get to a point, and the good thing about this as well is, I always say to people, sometimes you need to go backward to go forward. So whilst I appreciate that some of you might be lawyers on this call, some of you might be trainee lawyers, some of you might not even be lawyers, you might be coming from different fields. The truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter. As long as you have the willingness to learn, as long as you're open-minded, as long as you're ready to invest in your future, there's no limit to how much you can do. There's no limit to how you can build your career up. Yes, someone just said something about regulatory compliance. So regulatory compliance more or less focuses on like a set of rules that organizations have to follow. So you're dealing with more like, if you like regulations a lot, if you like to read the law, if you like to, I enjoy regulatory. So if you like to look at regulations, translate that into policy requirements, and then into like desktop manuals, that would be a good thing for you to look into. But that's something that, if you like regulations and you enjoy reading a lot and kind of processing a lot of information, I think you will like regulatory compliance, But if you want to know more, join the course. Someone just said, please, can we have some unpaid experience? You know what? Don't worry, guys. That's something we can always talk about at a later date. What you guys have to know is that, look, you're in very good hands. Ruki and I and other members of the team, we're going to look after you guys. And I'm really glad that you guys are showing a lot of, and I'm thankful to Rookie for giving you guys this discounts as well. Someone said, will control testing be part of the training? Adeshola joined the training program. It's meant to be a taster session. I can't tell you guys everything. If I tell you everything, what's going to be later when we start doing the training? So join the training program. All I can tell you is that it's someone is laughing. Someone said, okay, see, I like your sense of humor. But most importantly, I can assure you guys, it's a very robust training. I can assure you that you're in good hands. Look, I'm a Nigerian like you. Forget all this funny that I'm speaking. I'm a Nigerian like you. So I would break it down whichever way you guys want me to break it down, And I can assure that I'll make all of you feel comfortable in my training sessions with you. And I would answer your many questions. And I'm a very interactive trainer. Someone is saying something about credit rating. I'm so sorry. Kolamide Lawal, can you ask the question again? Because people are asking so many questions that I think is just pushing them all up very quickly. Someone is talking about credit rating. Can you please ask the question again? Because I would like to give you an opportunity for your question to be answered. Someone said, how do I register? Fantastic. Just DM Rookie. DM Rookie. She'll sort you out. DM Rookie. Quick. DM Rookie. Can one delve into the line of career without having you 101% blessing? Trust me, I've got your back. You can delve into the career without having, you just need the right mindset, the willingness to learn, and sign up for this course, and that will be your starting point. Someone said, does credit rating affect your chance of getting a job opportunity? Now, I'm going to be very honest with you. It affects certain jobs, not every job. A long time ago, I'm going to give you my own personal example and a story. A long time ago, when I genuinely did not understand the value of having a good credit rating. That's the honest truth. And at the time, obviously not now, at the time, my credit rating wasn't the best. And I remember then I got a job with HSBC. And I'm going to be very honest, because this is a very honest conversation we're having. And everything was confirmed. It was all looking pretty and all. And when it was time for me to start and they started doing my checks, unfortunately, HSBC at the time, they wouldn't consider you if you didn't have a good credit rating. But thank God that's no longer the case. So credit rating is actually something that you can work on over time. Even if you have a bad credit rating, it does not limit your chances. I can almost tell you or give you an idea of, if you have a bad credit rating, I can almost advise you on, don't apply to certain types of bank, because they're going to tell you, even if you get the job, they're going to decline you the job. But I can also tell you places that you can apply to that your credit rating would not mean anything. So guys, there is no need to be afraid. There is no need to be scared. You guys can do this. So like I said to you, credit rating can affect some jobs, not all jobs. Uche, I hope I've answered. A couple of people are worried about credit rating. Yes, it's a very valid question. It can affect some jobs, but not all jobs. Someone said, if I have a second class, it doesn't matter if you have a third class. It doesn't matter. See, gone were the days that having a degree was everything. Now they're looking for people that have the right mindset, people that are looking to solve problems, people that can bring value. The only value you bring to the table cannot be your degree. I'm sorry, you can't be your degree. Some people have degrees and they don't have any, they can't reason, they can't solve problems, they can't even interact with their peers. So don't discount yourself because you don't have a degree. Yes, it's good if you do, but if you don't, it doesn't change anything. It's your willingness to learn, your mindset, and the kind of people you connect yourself to. Feel free to add me on LinkedIn if you guys are on LinkedIn. But yeah, you can't go wrong doing this training. And I'm very proud of everyone who's even asked for payment details just because of the, that means you guys are willing and you're ready and you're fired up. If you guys have enjoyed this taster session, please give us some feedback on the chat and be very honest. If you think it was crap, just say, oh, not really, I didn't like it. If you think it was great, please, we'll love your feedback, because next time we'll know how to make it better. Please, guys, kind of write for us so we can see. Someone wants me to answer a question. How do you know your credit rating? Let's take that offline. I can help you to find out that, because of time, we have someone said, thank you. I think you're very honest. Thank you very much, Kolamide. I appreciate that feedback. Let's see your feedback, everybody. But Oluwasegun, don't worry. We can take that off the call, because I won't want to be discussing your own personal circumstances in front of everybody. That wouldn't be nice. Someone said, amazing session. Very explanatory, very informative. Thank you, Sarah, so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being an amazing audience. Thank you for asking us so many questions. Thanks to Rookie for giving the discount as well. But please feel free. Anything else you're not sure about, if you take your time, think about it. But trust me, you will not regret it. Someone said amazing session. Are we going to cover most UK laws? Yes, I can definitely take you through most UK laws. I would knock you out with laws. You beg me to stop. So don't worry. Ibiyonu, I've answered your question. Blessing, thank you to you too. Thank you, guys. Rookie, I think I'm going to hand it over to you. I think from what I've gathered, people are very happy with the taster session. A lot of them are planning to register. You guys, someone said, well done, Sarah. No problem. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Thank you. And I hope that you guys can all be great and become someone that you're very proud of. I'm wishing you all the best in this journey. And I'm looking forward to training majority of you. Thank you very much. Ricky, over to you.
Thank you, Sarah. And yes, for those that are asking about the payment link, so how to register, I've pasted the payment link as well on the chat box. I mean, most of you must have joined from my Instagram or something, so you can always still contact me there if you have any direct questions or direct maybe negotiations or whatever you want to do. But if you have made payments, you can send an email to info@rqicareers.com. So yes, more details about the training dates, right? We passed across to those that have made payments already and those that intend to make payments before the I mean, as soon as as soon as we're able to put that together. So, does anybody have any other question? I mean, any other question at all? Yes. So all materials, all recordings would be accessible on the LMS. We have a very user-friendly LMS, right? Which, which we are currently using for our other trainings as well. So yes, all recordings would be available on the LMS. You can watch, you can have access to materials as well. You can catch up at your own time. LMS is learning management system, also known as e-learning platform. It was shown in one of the slides. So it's just like a platform where you log into, you have your profile, you log onto it, and you have access to the training. So if trainings are done today, by maybe on the weekend, by Monday or Tuesday, all recordings would have been uploaded for you to be able to watch and bring your questions to the next class if you have any. For tonight's session, we'd have to be sure that we have the recording and then we'll share with you, but this is not the training itself. It's just like an intro to make you have a taste of what you would get in the training itself. How far can we be abreast of all relevant regulations? I mean, of course, there are usually loads of regulations, right? But I'm sure that all the ones you need to perform in all the tasks that are within the scope of this training would be covered, such that you can demonstrate those, and of course, you have to continue to do your own research because regulations change. We are even in a period where there's been a lot of changes in the UK. So it's not just about the one of training. You have to continue to develop yourself as well and keep abreast of the regulations that are important to you. I'm sure all of us, if they ask us now that what's the regulation concerning immigrants in the UK or immigration in the UK, everybody can recite it at the top of their head because you are interested in it, right? So that's exactly the same way you would also, if you are interested in, if you are in that role, right, or if you have a role as a KYC analyst, like every other thing related to that, to regulations changing, maybe in terms of what documents to keep for customers, how many years to keep clients' documents, after relationship has ended with them, how do you report suspicious transactions, all that, I'm sure you would be on top of it as well. It's not something you just cram and pour, it's something that, you have to continue to keep abreast of. And, just like she said, what differentiates, what you'll be getting in this training is, you have to have a very good understanding of the UK regulatory framework, which differs from probably where you might have been coming from. So even if you are a compliance professional or a KYC professional coming from, Nigeria, you still need to have an understanding of, the UK regulatory framework. And just like I told a lot of people, because a lot of people have consulted with me, they are new in the UK, they want to engage other services, like the CV, LinkedIn, and all that. For you to transition to some fields, right, it goes beyond, just preparing a CV for that field. You can't just prepare CV for a field, and just enter into that field. It depends on what your previous experience might have covered or the scope of your previous experience, right? But you have to really have a good understanding of the regulatory framework of the UK, and that's why we are bringing you Sarah, and not just any other KYC professional. Someone who has experience within the UK job market, within the UK regulatory framework, and has a very good understanding of the UK itself. So I believe, I don't think what rebranding is not a cost, it's a service. Okay, so if you have any more information, let's not keep everybody. It's 7 p.m. here in the UK, and I'm sure it's 8 p.m. already in Nigeria as well. If you have any more questions, please direct it to me on Instagram. Send us an email. Send us an email at info@rkycareers.com, and we are happy to answer your questions. And yes, if you need the payments links to be resent to you, if you need the account numbers, and if you need any to negotiate, to speak about installments and all that, we are happy to entertain your questions. So, in the absence of any other questions, Sarah, thank you very, very much, for partnering with us on this. We are very honored and delighted, to have a own head of compliance of Deloitte.
Thanks for the privilege. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So yes, in the absence of any other question, let's all have a very great week.